Imagine a peaceful world where everything follows its own rules. But what happens when a desperate cry forces a park ranger to break every one of them? A fateful moment, a courageous act, and a seemingly impossible rescue. Is compassion strong enough to overcome the wild? The answer lies in the next moment. The midday sun beat down, casting a brilliant light over Kadipo Valley National Park. Its powerful glow illuminated the lush green grass, which stretched to the horizon, creating a scene full of life. It was a tranquil and peaceful sight, one that wildlife ranger Arya had seen countless times, yet it never failed to fill her with a quiet sense of awe. She drove her weathered Land Rover along a smooth tarmac road, the hum of its engine the only sound breaking the afternoon silence. The air was dry and smelled of fresh grass and wildflowers. Arya's eyes, seasoned by years of observation, scanned the landscape, not just looking, but truly seeing. The subtle twitch of a zebra's ear, the distant, lazy amble of a giraffe, the rustle of a bush that hinted at a hidden presence. This was her home, and every creature within it was her charge. Today was a routine patrol. The park was vast, and her job was a lonely one, often spent in quiet contemplation. She thought about the fragile balance of this ecosystem, a world where every life, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant, played a crucial role. This was a story of survival, not of the fittest, but of the most compassionate. She was a witness to both the brutal realities of nature and the gentle moments of connection that defied them. Suddenly, a sound, faint and almost imperceptible, reached her ears. It was a rustle in the tall green grass to her right, a sound too deliberate to be the wind. She slowed the vehicle, her gaze fixed on the spot. A young lion cub, barely a few months old, emerged from the tall grass. Its fur was a downy gold, and its eyes, wide and curious, blinked against the daylight. It looked tired, its tiny paws padding slowly as it sought refuge from the heat. It was alone. Arya knew instinctively that it had strayed from its pride, perhaps during a hunt or simply from an innocent, playful wanderlust. She watched as it found a small, shady grove of acacia trees near the edge of the tarmac road, a place where the grass was still green. The cub nestled down, curling into a small ball, its chest rising and falling with each weary breath. It seemed so vulnerable, so utterly innocent. Arya felt a pang of maternal concern. This was the moment where she was supposed to observe, to let nature take its course. She knew the dangers lurking in the tall green grass, the silent predators that moved unseen. But as a ranger, her duty was also to protect, to intervene when a life hung in the balance. She had to stay and watch. The cub seemed safe for now, but Arya's gut told her otherwise. She couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Unbeknownst to the sleeping cub or Arya, a silent hunter lay in wait. The cool, dense grass beneath the tree shade was a perfect camouflage. An enormous African rock python, its scales a tapestry of dark brown and olive green, was coiled and patient. It had felt the vibrations of the cub's approach, its cold-blooded body sensing the heat and the slow rhythm of its heart. The python was a creature of pure instinct, a master of ambush. It didn't chase, it waited, and its waiting was finally over. As the cub settled into a deeper sleep, a new sound filled the air, the ominous rustle of scales against leaves. The python uncoiled with terrifying speed and stealth. In a flash, it was upon the cub, its powerful body wrapping around the small animal in a suffocating embrace. A single, heart-wrenching roar of pain, weak but desperate, escaped the cub's lungs before it was silenced by the crushing pressure. Arya's heart leaped in her throat. She slammed on the brakes, the Land Rover skidding on the tarmac before coming to a stop. The dust cloud billowed around her, but her eyes were fixed on the terrifying scene unfolding just off the road. The cub's tiny body was completely engulfed in the python's constricting coils. The snake's muscles rippled, tightening with every breath the cub struggled to take. The cub's legs twitched weakly, its head lolling to the side. It was a moment of pure, raw terror, a life being extinguished before her very eyes. Arya's mind raced. Every ounce of her ranger training told her to stay back, that interfering could put her in grave danger. A corner python was incredibly fast and could strike with surprising force. But her heart, the heart of a protector, screamed at her to act. She couldn't just sit and watch. The cub, so small and helpless, was being choked to death. Its cries had been silenced, its struggle a mere tremor now. She threw open the door, rushing to find a large, sturdy, dry branch nearby. This was a tool for rescue, not a weapon, and she knew she had to act with precision and caution. Keeping a low profile, she approached from the python's tail end, hoping to avoid a direct strike. At the same moment, a low growl rumbled from the edge of the forest. A large male lion, along with 3 lionesses, emerged. They had been drawn by the cub's weak cries and the commotion. The sight heightened the tension and drama. Standing on the roadside, the pride stared at Arya, showing no intention of attacking, but still growling, as both a warning and a protective gesture. Arya knew she had to act even faster before the pride's patience ran out. She took a deep breath, her own heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. She raised the branch and brought it down hard on the ground near the python's head, the thud echoing in the sudden silence. The python startled, its head snapping up, its forked tongue flicking in the air. This was her chance. With the snake momentarily distracted, Arya used the branch to wedge it between the python's coils, creating leverage. She carefully pushed and twisted the branch, applying enough force to make the python's muscles loosen. The snake's coils, as hard as steel, began to unravel slowly. The presence of the lions added immense pressure on Arya. Every growl was like a hurried command, and every move she made had to be quick but flawless. She had to face 2 dangers, the angry python and the pride's limited patience. Finally, with one last desperate and precise push, Arya managed to pull the limp cub free. Its breathing was shallow and ragged, its body bruised and covered in welts from the python's crushing embrace. She didn't waste a second. She wrapped the cub in a thick wool blanket from her jeep and cradled it in her arms, feeling the faint, fluttering beat of its heart against her own. It was a miracle that it was still alive. Arya drove to the nearest wildlife veterinary clinic, her jeep now filled with the sound of the cub's labored breaths. The vets worked quickly, administering fluids and carefully examining the small animal. Its body was a mass of purple bruises, but miraculously, its internal organs were unharmed. They were confident it would make a full recovery. Days turned into a week. The cub, now named Rafiki, friend in Swahili, slowly regained its strength. It was a feisty little thing, swatting at the vet's hands and purring contentedly when given milk. Its survival was a testament to Arya's courage and a hopeful symbol for the park's future. When it was strong enough, the time came for Rafiki to return to its home. Arya drove it back to the same area where she had found it. The patrol had located its pride, a large group of lions resting lazily in the shade of a large baobab tree. From a safe distance, Arya released Rafiki. It hesitated for a moment, then, with a newfound strength, trotted towards its family. The moment of reunion was a quiet one. A large lioness, the cub's mother, rose from her slumber, her ears perked. She sniffed the air, and a low rumble escaped her throat. She saw her cub, its small body bearing the scars of its ordeal, and moved towards it. She licked its face, a gentle, powerful gesture of recognition and love. The cub nudged its head against hers, and Arya, watching from afar, felt a lump form in her throat. Arya stayed for a long time, watching the pride from the hood of her jeep. The sun was setting once more, casting long shadows across the green savanna. This was the wild heart of Kadipo, a place of constant struggle and profound beauty. A world where a human's love could transcend species, and where every life, no matter how small, was truly worth fighting for. Arya knew that this was just one story, but it was a reminder that hope, in its purest form, was not just about survival, but about connection. What do you think of this emotional story? Have you ever witnessed a moment of compassion like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to explore more inspiring stories from the wild, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos.